Hello everybody, Seek and Destroy here, another episode of Dota 2 Weekly. Joining me in order is my co-host, Kelman.
Greetings.
Mr. Tracer.
Hello.
Mick.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going. I just noticed that large microphone you got. Wow, and Armin.
I'm here for the free beer.
Armin, there's a thing about that. We actually ixnayed on the free beer. So, sorry.
Well, see you guys.
And we're done.
And he's gone.
Well, join us next time on...
Oh, dear God.
All right, so I think we're going to start out with talking about the just finalizing the Fanatic changes. Vic, if you want to take that.
Yeah, alright. So, last week we talked about how they were trying to get... The Fnatic was trying to get Era out of the International and replacing him with Excalibur. However, Valve was adamant against it, and they just released word that Era will be joining as their carry in the International, and Excalibur will be their coach, apparently. So, Everybody's going to the International. Era's the one that's playing.
Oh,
Okay, I have a question regarding that. So let's say that Era has another complication. Would Excalibur be able to, are you allowed to have a substitute in the International, or is it, if not all 5 are done, do you know?
As far as it seems that they cannot substitute. The 5 that were invited are the 5 that are allowed to play.
Yeah. Only reason I could see that happening is if he has a ding and they're forced to allow the substitution.
Pretty sure that if someone dies in a plane crash, that they pretty much have to go as 4 at this point.
Fair enough, yeah. That makes sense.
Hypothetically.
Error only falls out.
They'll probably just have to forfeit if anything happens.
Right.
The biggest thing that Valve said was the fact that with Fear and what happened with him, they were talking to them well before the International. That's what they kept saying was, look, that Fear and stuff, that whole scenario was before they even threw out the invites. This was all post-invite, and that was the biggest thing. We talked about that last week, but that's what Valve stuck to was for the whole thing.
Okay.
Right.
Hold on, I'm going to add something in here. Going into this, do you think that Fear is actually, that EG with Mason is actually better than it was with Fear?
Fear brought a lot of experience, I would say, to the field, and he can still kind of contribute that whenever he's the captain, or the coach, rather, not the captain. So I think that they're still getting benefit from him while having, younger blood in the pool.
Yeah. Something fresh.
Any thoughts, Mick, Tracer?
I think they're playing really well. I don't know if I would say better than when with Fear was there, because Fear's solid, but I mean, it's one of those. It's 6 one ways, half dozen the other. It's one of those. They've always kind of been one of those teams. Either they're hot and dominating, or they're throwing every single game.
No, I'll give you that.
It's kind of always been the way they've played.
Fair enough.
Very much. You know what? I just remembered there was one thing we did not go over last time.
What was that?
Which is?
The ESL One.
The ESL One. Well, you want to take that, Seek, since you've done your research on that one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I watched this game, which, by the way, the music, there was actually music at the end. That was like epic music at the end of this, at the end of the tournament. With like confetti and everything. So IG beat EG 2-1.
Fair enough.
It was, literally, it was like, I don't know how to put it. There was like rejoiceful kind of like epic music at the end.
They are the winners of ESL One Frankfurt.
It was ridiculous.
Epic music.
Did any of you guys
But the
see
game's
the
good at least.
Yeah, the games were great. But
So
did you
it's
guys see
part
the
Fanatic
end of the? You guys see the end of the tournament at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
I
just.
did.
It was like in a football stadium or something. It was crazy. There was a lot of people there.
Oh yeah, it was pretty
Just
epic.
wait for the international.
Yeah. Speaking of, so let's go on to the international. I believe Mick, you want to go over the brackets and all, or brackets, the tournament.
So we had the qualifiers go through, and now we're going off to the playoff phase. The first thing that's going to happen, though, is we've got the wild card, which is going to be, again, which kind of team makes it in. Liquid, CIS, MVP Phoenix, and Verse Pro. 2 best of 3s to see who goes into round 2, and again, another best of 3 to make it in. Now, if I'm not mistaken, last year wasn't there a team that couldn't make it, and one of the teams that was going to be a wild card, was that 2 years ago, made it in too?
I don't know if it was last year. No.
Yeah,
Well, it was the year before.
Yeah.
There's potential for teams that make it into the play-ins that actually, if something happened, I don't remember what it was, it would have pretty much happened by now, but they can make it. So actually being in there, even if they don't make it the wild card spot, there's still potential for them to actually do something if there's some complications that arise.
How awful would that be? Being that guy that's like, please something happen, please something happen, plane crash.
That's gonna
Oh
happen.
wow.
I wouldn't be surprised if there were guys who are doing that.
There are, dude. I can only imagine.
You get so close and then not be able to do it. But anyway, so we've got basically right now the round robin, 16 teams, best of 1. So you play 1 game. The teams all play each other, and then based on
Points.
your record in there, it goes into
Top 6, was it?
the upper bracket. And pardon?
Top 6, if I remember.
Yeah, the main events is the top 8 teams, I think. But you've got it goes from 11 or 16 to 8, so it gets cut in half based off of the round robin. Then it's got 2 bubble brackets, which basically is you've got the upper and the lower, and then you play through from there, and it's all again it's based on the rank. You don't have to win it necessarily to move on, but it's going to help your seed next elimination tournament, which is the final 8. But so it's one of those. It gets so already complicated. But basically, you fight for your place in the first set of tournaments. Based on your place in that second set of tournaments, you go into the final 8, loser winner bracket, and then you go from there.
Okay, back to the whole thing about the playoffs. MUFC was in the TI2 that didn't make it, by the way.
Okay. So, who do we think's gonna win the wild card? I mean, that's the next big step, right?
Sometimes everyone's gonna have different opinions.
Well, I mean, just what are some of our opinions?
You
I
cannot have
personally,
different opinions. We all have
I think MVP.
you think MVP?
I would really like to see them go through.
MVP,
See,
really?
I honestly think EG has a chance. It's not like
No, for the play-in.
For the wild card.
Wild card.
EG. I think they've got a chance. It's not one of those like it's a picture-perfect scenario. What's going to take a picture-perfect scenario? The strongest ones out of those 4 right now, I would probably say Phoenix. Phoenix has been playing really well. But I do think Liquid's got a shot. And that's not just because Go America. It's Go America.
Honestly.
But back to that goal.
Phoenix?
Well, I honestly think that CIS is going to be the ones, because they had a really strong showing. I see it being CIS beating Liquid and maybe MVP, so I think final is going to be CIS and MVP. And MVP stands a really good chance, but I think CIS definitely stands a better chance.
Well, I'm coming in from the rear, and I just think Virtus Pro is going to bring it home. I don't know why. I liked watching them play.
You like their logo.
Qualifiers. I kind of like their
like
logo. It's cute, all right. I like it. I think it goes well.
In
Goes well with my
Soviet
hair.
Russia, Polar Bear crushes you.
Calling you. I just want to get this off, on the
No,
record.
man, I said manly. I said it looks manly.
It got such a cute little.
Can I just say one thing? I thought that was a horse before. And I'm
Wow.
not kidding. I thought that orange thing on top was the mane.
Wow.
Fair enough. So I don't know what the logo is. but
It's
I
a
like it.
bear.
I think that they're going to win. And next week, maybe we'll see that.
Indeed.
Speaking of which, that's what we'll be talking about next week.
Oh yeah, we'll
Talk
be
about
talking
next
about
week.
a lot
Shameless
of
plug.
stuff next week.
Shameless plug.
So one last thing, Arrow Gaming, if nobody else knew, is the only group in the international right now who does not have a member that was in a previous international. So
We
they're
already
kind
said that.
of out of the block. That was last week. I don't know. I wasn't here last
No,
week.
we just mentioned it like 10 minutes ago.
Might I don't know.
might have been pre-recording.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Just leave me alone.
All right, Zeke. What else we got?
Well, let's start going over who are our predictions as far as for the people that are actually playing. Like, who do you think's gonna be bracketed where?
Oh.
Oh, all right.
I'm trying to see who I picked in my compendium. Hold on.
So your first, like the top 5 or 6 people, you're saying?
Upper bracket, lower bracket, sort of thing. I
Oh,
think.
upper bracket, lower bracket.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Well, I
my
definitely
top-
think.
My top. No, this is before the playoffs, so that's not even that. Crap. I got to think about that one. Hold on.
You threw us off. I think
Where
Navi
did-
is definitely a contender for the top bracket, just because I mean they have been every year so far.
And Alliance and DK.
Alliance, DK.
Navi has been top bracket and lower bracket every year.
Yeah.
Once they hit like 3rd place, then they start fighting their way back to 2nd.
And they Navi doesn't always do well on the small tournaments, but when it comes to like the international, it's like home field advantage. They come out at a whole different level. It happened every single one.
Well,
I think DK and IG are other top bracket people.
Already said this.
you're killing me. I think VC is gonna be one of the higher bracket ones. I also
What
think
about
that
Mouse Sports?
Mal's
I haven't seen
kinda-
much from them.
I've seen some of the tournaments that they played in, and they don't impress me anymore. Cloud9, same way. I expected more out of them, but they've been having issues lately.
However, Titan wrecked.
Have a good showing. I think DK is going to have a good showing. Fnatic probably. I don't think Cloud9 is going to do well. That really makes me sad because I really wanted to see them. They're fun to watch. But I really don't think they're going to show well. They haven't, and the way they've lost their last couple matches, and just kind of the general reactions of the team, everyone kind of seems just broken. Is the right word. Like I don't know how it's been, but they do not seem like they're on form.
Yeah, well, Aoi 2000, who was Sing Sing, it's just a lot of their showings here lately. There have been 2 or 3 tournaments that they've been in that they've just been trounced really hard. ESL One, that was the other one that they did. D2L, and then the VPN before that. So, I mean, it's just one of those things. They've had some games that they've done good and they've gone forward, but a lot of these main, like, big name teams, I just don't see them stacking up very well.
Yeah.
Has anyone else noticed that whenever it says country of origin, the Cloud9 says Earth?
Earth.
Everyone's like U.S., Russia, China.
Yeah, they're the international team, kind of like Online Kingdom was back in the original TIs.
Right.
And
Well, so is EG. EG, I mean, has some from Sweden, some from Canada. And they're still U.S. I thought that was humorous. Sorry.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. And back to the whole thing. Also, what about Newbie? Newbie's kind of for a Chinese team. They've been kind of down lately.
Well, I mean, it goes back to, do we think that the Chinese strategy of just kind of, solidify an advantage and then make it as big as you can is going to work in this tournament? Why it didn't work last year's Alliance just would be, it's just a wall moving towards you, and then you try solidifying what little advantage you have, and before you know it, your towers are gone. So, I mean,
They didn't have a bad showing in the last tournament they were in, the V Games Grand Final. They were up against DK, I think. And they didn't. I mean, it wasn't a.
but
it wasn't
this
a
close. But this close to the international, you know that there have got to be strategies that are just being held back,
There always were.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Like
you can
everyone's trying to hide their new strategies, because if they let it out earlier, it can be worked around, given time.
Right.
That's true. So, just thinking about it, back to the whole thing on the internationals. What do you guys think is gonna? What do you guys think's gonna actually happen here? Like, do you think there are gonna be like a lot of strats coming out, like a lot of new strats we wouldn't have thought of? And then, do you think it's gonna change the meta again?
I
I
think
would
a lot
say-
a few times.
I wouldn't say it would change the meta or anything. I would say that there's probably, yes, things that we didn't think of or even other teams didn't think of that is going to find those holes that in the other teams, and it's only going to come out of like a few teams which are just going to start mowing down, and then once they start facing each other off, it's going to get really interesting.
So there's stuff that's already happened. Like, look how Admiral Bulldogs changed his profit play.
A
It's
lot.
not Russia Midas anymore. It's go Maelstrom into Blink Dagger and to just for that ultimate split push. And there have been games which he's almost single-handedly kept them in the game, because if there's a team fight going on, he pushes the freaking lane so fast, it's just game over, and he's at their tier 3 before the other teams even at the river. And stuff
By
like
10
that.
minutes, no less.
That it's been recently, like it's been the last month and a half that he's really swapped into that play style, that Blink Dagger, and just have that eternal split push. And I guarantee you that they, you know what, we got to change something before the international. We got to start practicing this, and he is one of the best, if not the best, profit players in the game. Like, it's just the way it is. But that whole definition of how profit was played, I think, was leading up to this, TI4, and then really practicing that. So there have been big changes that have already been made.
Oh,
Right.
As for pocket strats and stuff, there are going to be pocket strats, and they're going to be awesome.
Well,
I
for
can't
$10
wait.
million, you better have some pocket strats.
Yeah,
That's-
literally, the winner will be literally millionaires. So the winning team will each get $1 million.
So, what are we up to on the compendium now? I know it's 10.4.
$10,443,030. Don't forget the 30. It's important.
$30. Wow. So, anybody else want to go and try to be the best in the world and make $10 million in a day?
I see 5.
So guys, let's make a team.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to substitute in for Era. That'll work.
Hey, I
Nick
have
and I
to
were
mention
going to try
something.
Dendy and Puppy, but they just wouldn't even return our emails. Come on,
Go.
get out of
At least,
town.
at least Era gave me a fighting chance.
It didn't work with my schedule. I'm sorry.
Oh, is that what happened? See, they
I
didn't.
replied to you. I guess I just
I have to mention one thing that I find very funny.
because they were watching our Pudge game, Kelvin.
That's it. That's shit. Really?
I could just imagine, Era, well, I can play the best Chaos Knight in the world. Tracer, I can get on a plane. Oh, man.
I have to mention this before it's
Well,
left of
any other ending credits for hopes, dreams, aspirations?
Well, I think everybody,
next.
4/5 of this call is probably going for EG, if I'm not mistaken.
You're all wrong.
EG or IG
To take it,
To take it.
or DK. DK. I'll throw in my vote for DK.
my top teams, which I can now actually say now because now we're on that topic. Let's go back.
Yeah, I'm
to it.
listening. Let's hear
My
it.
top-
I know the fanboyism is gonna be there.
EG, DK, Navi, IG, Cloud9, and Liquid are my
Wow.
top 6.
You
I
did
know.
it within Alliance. I'm surprised.
Alright. My top 6 are very similar, only I have for 5th and 6th I have Alliance and Arrow. I think Arrow might throw its way in there.
Ooh. Now, see, that's the thing. Here's another one, just kind of going off on a tangent. Do you think Arrow should have been invited?
Yes.
I feel like Arrow has shown some real promise. Same thing with,
They did, but how old is the team?
They're like
not
a year
very
old.
old.
That's the thing.
They're like a year old. That's
They're-
probably
they're-
why they weren't invited, is just because they just didn't have enough information on them in order to
Right.
Just like the first Alliance, pretty much, if I remember correctly.
Well, Alliance was a lot of
Professional-
no
yeah,
Tidehunter.
Yeah, no Tidehunter.
And
And when
they,
they put no Tidehunter, they had to change their name.
well,
they-
that's the thing. Navi NA is also very new too. Like
That's
days
true.
old.
Just because I'm American, I want Navi NA to just wipe the floor with everyone.
Yeah, but at the same time, Navi NA,
No,
I think, what
I want
tournament was
Cloud9 to win because apparently their country is Earth. I'm not joking.
They are the world's heroes.
The
go
it
to the-
was, wasn't it the summit that they did at Navi NA did, like, horribly?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. They didn't do. Well, I mean, in all fairness, they lost to Navi. So
Well, they lost to Navi.
To themselves.
They lost to Navi and
and then they
someone
just didn't
else.
make it. They didn't make it go past the lower bracket.
The round robin, they were like 0-6 though.
Oh yeah, they weren't that great in the round robin.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things.
This is really bugging me. Why is Cloud9's country of origin Earth?
Because
Talk
they're
about that.
they're an international team. They have so many from different places.
Yeah, they have
Still, I think it's country of origin Earth. It's bugging me so much.
Well, it's because they have one in like one of the who is it? Fanatic says Europe, because I mean they're all pretty much European. But I mean with Cloud9, the Netherlands, Singapore, Canada. I mean it's just you just
Yeah.
can't have it. I mean, Sing Sing's from the Netherlands. I thought he was.
That's
I thought he was like from Singapore. That's weird. Just kidding. No Netherlands here.
You're
Sing
racist.
Sing. Huh?
You're racist.
That's right.
I have no comments.
See, how do you
That's
feel
all.
having a racist co-host? Huh?
Oh,
He's
oh,
from
yeah.
Singapore. How's that even a thing? Singaporean isn't a race. I definitely got
Singaporean.
that thing.
Oh my god, you're just thinking your own grave, man.
Nationalist. That's what you
Oh,
mean.
there it is. Yeah.
Hey, Mick, do you hear that sound? It's a
Someone's
sound.
flushing down the toilet.
I was gonna say Cohen's grave being dug.
Anyways, as a concluding remark to that,
Gonna take hold.
Oh, it's
Um,
up by $4 more.
$304. All right, guys. Well, I guess next week we'll have to tell everyone how the international wild card went, and I think that at the end of the week, are we going to be touching into the qualifiers? I guess, or not the qualifiers, but like the first rounds.
We will
the wild
be
card is early
recording during or after the round robin, but during the qualifiers or during
So-
the beginning brackets, if I'm not mistaken.
So we might watch and yeah.
Like that's
hear a
never
lot of-
happened before, where we watched and recorded at the same time.
You hear a lot of
have to try.
let you know why. It's like, oh my god, that play was awesome.
We're just gonna sit here silently screaming at each other every
Well,
couple
we-
of minutes.
We'll just
Well-
commentate. We'll just be commentators.
Yeah, we can do this is gonna sound awful. But see, you can like record that shit. Us commentating over the matches.
Good.
Be fucking hilarious.
And also let the rollcasters do it.
Yeah, I mean, people paid for it.
Yeah.
Losers.
Us amateurs will keep out of that for a little bit. I think I'll
Yeah.
start with a smaller tournament.
Don't worry, we'll be listening to a live broadcast after party with special guest, The Rude.
Alright, guys. Well, I guess that does it for us. Sorry for the shorter episode. However, nothing happened as far as tournament-wise.
Exciting stuff while we're having a short episode.
Yeah, next week we will more than make up for it, as we will have so much to
That
talk
will be
about.
negative.
All right, guys, join us next time. Have a great week.